one minute. Right. So this is about us. We are working with more than 200 plus companies in Pune. So today, if you see for any of the admins or HR, when food as a subject comes, the market is very unstructured. You know, basically, if you require maybe a packed lunch, you will go to a five-star hotel. If you require some snack items, you might go to a samosa vendor, or if you need some bakery stuff, you will go to a bakery. There is no one single point of contact for admins or HR to reach out and just place the order and execute the order. So right now, this was a very unorganized structure. There is what Housecast is playing a role of how we can ease the overall food ordering process. So Housecast becomes the aggregator, and we work with companies to understand your food requirements, what kind of menus your people like, what works with you, what doesn't work with you, and try to have a very close hand-holded service that we are providing to our customer. So if you see anything from a breakfast, lunch, cafeteria management, fun Fridays, say, town hall meetings, client meetings, ODC catering, anything and everything where during the 365 days, wherever you require food, we try to help you out with that. So we become one single window who can help you out with food needs. So if you see on the left hand side, those are the kind of requirements that generally an admin or an HR get from the people within the company. And then, you know, you start hunting for vendors or start looking for people who can provide you with those things. So today, Housecast, playing the role of an aggregator, we are able to work with cloud kitchens, caterers, central kitchens, hotels, bakeries, and then curate the entire menu and deliver it to the end customer. So it's a very customized service that we are trying to do. The best part about us is it's a one label thing. So even though we are procuring it from other vendors, it will come under the Housecast label. The ownership of delivery is with us. So that means because we understand with corporate, it's a very, time is very important when food comes into perspective, because people are waiting, clients are waiting. So it needs to be delivered on time, and we understand that. So that is the reason we have an in-house delivery team who delivers the food to you. And it's a complete customer experience that we're trying to give. So, for example, if Tata Technologies is our client, we have one particular person assigned to your company, because see, food is very subjective. What might be liked by your employees or your clients might not be liked by other people. So this is like, it's a very customized very hand-holded service that we are trying to give you. In this slide, you can see anything from a buffet breakfast to a packed meal to Priche Modak to Puran Poi to ODC catering. Whatever falls under the food umbrella, we are trying to do this. And if you see the picture of the packed lunches, this is what we are trying to push now during COVID, wherein, you know, there is no touching of food at all. It gets packed at the kitchen and it is delivered to the end customer. And this can come in a proper 5-compartment tray where people can individually eat their thalis and they can dispose it off. So there is no hassle of containers, service people, and all that. And so yeah, so that is one of the features. Then we have this is one of the major USPs of Housecast is the snack box that we do. So right now, a lot of companies are very restricted to few items giving as a snacks. But we as Housecast, we try to bring as much variety as possible. So even in sandwiches, we have like 20, 30 varieties. So person eating once will not eat the same thing again and again. So we do a lot of food expertise and try to help the clients out with different kind of menus like donuts, tarts, slice cakes, you know, pizza, focaccia bread sandwich, etc. So those are the kind of food items in Snackbox we do. The best part about Snackbox is it's completely customizable as per your budgets and as per your requirement. So if it is, for example, if it's an Independence Day, right, we can do a nice tricolor with saffron white green dhokla and saffron white green peda. So we get a theme, we try to build a theme around food so that it becomes an interesting concept within an organization. These are the pack meals. If you see, right from Punjabi till Oriental, Thai, Italian combos, any combo you name it, we can do it under one roof. We have these pizza boxes, then Maharashtrian menu also like Priche Modak and Masale Bhat, which a lot of foreign guests, when they come, they would always like to try our Indian food. But then, because of the spice levels, they're not able to do that. So we try to understand their taste palette and try to design the food in such a way. One of the five main reasons why House Khas is basically we are a one-stop solution for all your food needs. So you don't need to go to multiple vendors. It's fresh, individually portioned meal boxes. We can serve from 2 to 5,000 people on time delivery, and any of our meal boxes can be heated in the microwave. So it can be served as fresh as possible. Some of our client roosters are like we work with more than 200 plus companies. We've just tried to give you a gist of who all we work with, like EMC Square, QLogic, Vodafone, Allscripts, Cognizant, ZS Associates. These are the few clients that we are working with. So if you see the entire gist of what we do, that is the problem that we are here to solve. That we become a one per point of contact. One more best thing about us is it's a monthly billing cycle. So you don't need to, so you eliminate the complete cash transactions that is happening. So we will raise a monthly invoice to you, and then you can pay on a monthly basis, whether you're ordering like samosas or packed lunches or snack boxes, anything and everything. It can be done through a monthly cycle once we are a registered vendor with you people. So this is the overall gist about what we do. Plus also cafeteria management, of course, we are working with a lot of companies on those areas wherein it's a very, very hand-holded service that we try to do, feedback mechanism. If you don't like the vendor, we change the vendor after every 6 months. All that facility can be, it can be implemented in any company. Right.
Very nice.
Right.
Very
so I
sad.
asked Neha to share this also with you, so that I think she would have done it. But internally, if you guys want to have a look at it, and if you have any questions, you can reach out to us. Right? Yeah, I'm just stopping to share. I think we have 10 more minutes. 10, yeah. So I think a lot of people are excited, Ravindra, to listen to you. We're getting, like, wow, this is like, it's like a ready reckoner that we can refer to, because a lot of companies are planning to start from the 17th. Right.
Is it?
Yeah. A lot of them are in talks right now. Some from 17th, some from 30th. That is the kind of thing that's going on currently.
Okay.
So you have started operations or not yet?
Yeah, from Monday.
You've started already. Okay, wow, that's nice. And what percentage of workforce?
Very less, about 10%.
And it's working fine?
Yeah.
No issues as such?
See, actually, for me, since I am running the facilities, the infrastructure, this was running throughout. We never put it off. Once since the lockdown began, we are still running our infrastructure, maintaining it, sanitizing it, keeping it the hygiene levels high. It's been a continuous job. We didn't any time actually. Only the employees stopped coming.
Right.
I believe a lot of facing the challenge, they just quit and kept the malls empty. Now all their goods, the leather goods, are all catching fungus and mold. It seems.
Oh my God! Yeah.
So, immediately after the lockdown, one should not visit any malls and purchase anything from there.
Correct.
Most important, not breathe in any of the HVAC air there.
Right.
It's loaded with fungus and algae.
Right. Yeah. And your cafeteria is functional, or food is not yet? How is it?
No. We have a fully functional cafeteria has been running again throughout the entire. We have 6 facilities in Pune. So this cafeteria was catering for my complete staff. About 71 of them was staying throughout on the premises 24/7. Morning bed tea to dinner, they were serving them breakfast, lunch, snacks, dinner every day.
So was it an in-house thing that they did, or people were going out and coming back?
Like, no. I didn't allow anyone to go in and out.
So even the cafeteria vendor was stationed there?
Yes. It's like a one big camp. We didn't allow anyone to go outside.
Right.
Risk of infection. Huh?
Correct.
You're also based on the office, or you're speaking from home now because of this?
No, we're still working from home because a lot of our
Good,
calls
good.
and all, we are doing it on Zoom, the sales calls and all that. So as of now, we're stationed. So after 17, we'll see how to go about it.
And don't take a risk actually.
But this is this is working really great for, I mean, even sales, if we can, like, for example, we've been doing a lot of sales call on Zoom. So that also is working really good. This is something new that, even we have discovered that even B2B selling can be done so well on Zoom. Like that. Yeah.
Mm.
And also, in terms of Tata Technologies, are you also doing some internal HR related activities for people who are working from home and those kind of thing, like employee engagement kind of thing?
Yeah, a lot of things are happening, like psychological counseling is happening. Yoga is being taken.
Sorry?
Yoga.
Right. Okay. So you have weekly sessions.
Wellness sessions are happening there. HR takes care of that. L&D, learning and development.
Learning and okay.
They do that.
Right. So we've also come up Housecast because we are also trying to see what differently we can help our clients with. So even we have come up with a wellness program kind of a thing wherein we are trying to cover mental health wellness, physical wellness, and some kids activities for kids at home. Those kind of things. Yeah,
okay.
counseling sessions, and in fitness we are trying to do yoga, Zumba, and companies can sign up for it. And whichever facility they want to opt for, they can do that. So even that we've come up, and we're talking to a lot of companies. Specifically, this counseling sessions are really helping out employees who are at home and not used to such an environment. We're humans, we need socializing. So eventually sitting at home and all that, they needed support in terms of mental wellness. So even that working with companies to arrange counselors online wherein people can come and attend sessions and talk even one-on-one. If they want to talk, they can speak to the counselor and stuff like that. Plus this for the kids, a lot of kids are at home right now. So even for employees' kids, we are doing like art and craft sessions online where they can attend maybe once a week or something like that. Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
Good, very good. People have become very creative now.
Thank you. So I think we'll start in the next 5 minutes. Also, Ravindra, are you is Tata doing any CSR related stuff like your?
Yes, we do a lot.
Right. So, I mean, is that already rolling, or you are looking for people who can help you out with that?
See, now everything has come to a halt actually ever since 25th of March. The new year, nothing we have done, honestly.
Okay. So COVID related stuff you have not done. You have not done CSR during this period, is what you're saying?
No. You're doing something?
Yes. So again, very interesting that thing that came up with us also. We are tied up with kitchens who can provide food, and we are tied up with few NGOs who actually have the requirement where actually there are needy people who are in need of food and stuff. So we are trying to do the CSR activity. In fact, we just did one yesterday for one of the agricultural company called Syngenta, and they are we distributed some 40,000 food packets across Maharashtra, for these people who are actually in need of it. So we are also, so even in your circle, if anyone is looking for to do a CSR activity and they are looking for someone who can help them out with, you can pass on our contact to them. We'll be more than happy to help you out. So basically a few kitchens are operational. So food part can be taken care of. Plus we also have NGOs with whom we have tied up, and where there is they let us know where the need is and which is a strata of people that are actually requiring food or some whatever materialistic thing that they need on a day-to-day basis. So that we are trying to match both the ends basically and try to help people out. a lot of companies had that budgets which they are using it off right now, because it's the right time to help people out, right? There are so many, migrant workers and these people who are actually struggling to go back home and without food, water, and that all that. So there is where we are trying to play our part in it.
Very good. Mm.
Yeah, so I think we're just a minute away, and we'll start sharp at 4 o'clock.
Sure.
We have people joining in. Yeah, so Ravindra?
Yeah.
Hello everyone. A very good evening to all of you. Housecast welcomes you to a very insightful webinar series, a platform to help business exchange ideas and navigate through turbulent times. Before we begin, I would like to give you a brief introduction about Housecast. Housecast is a B2B food tech company currently working with 200 plus companies in Pune for their corporate food requirements. Once again, a very warm welcome to our panelists and participants to this session hosted by Housecast. On the topic, a COVID-19 admin rulebook, process and guidelines to follow. My name is Pavitra and I will be hosting this live session. Basically, the aim of this virtual learning is to create an awareness about the critical role of admin management in these pandemic COVID-19. Learn from the industry expert who has implemented these guidelines across the world in countries like China, Europe, and India to ensure employee health and safety during and after the lockdown period due to COVID outbreak. With this, I would like to welcome and introduce our speaker for today, Colonel Ravindra Tolde. Thank you, sir, for joining us. Mr. Ravindra is an alumnus of NDA, Khadakwasla, Pune, and DSSC, Wellington, who has served in the Indian Army for over 22 years. He's commanded an artillery regiment in active counter-insurgency operations in Jammu and Kashmir. He is the India head admin and facilities, global OH and SMR at Tata Technologies for over 12 years now. We believe the SOPs shared by Mr. Ravindra on this subject matter and the interactions will help the admin fraternity to plan their operations and processes more efficiently in these uncertain times and help create a safe and secure workplace for your employees. So, Sneha, would you like to start the presentation? Yeah, Ravindra, over to you.
Thank you, Pavitra. Good evening, everyone. So, welcome to this return to office process and guidelines related to this pandemic COVID-19. So, I think all of us are extremely well read, extremely well educated now on the COVID-19 pandemic, how infectious it is, how contagious is it, what is the impact of this. We're all very much aware of all these. So these are just some guidelines which you may already be following in your respective companies, which are just some suggestions which you may take forward. Next slide. Okay. So these are just some measures which we have undertaken in our company across our facilities in Pan India to create a workplace which is safe and secure for our employees. Next slide. Okay. Now, we have based all our entire approach on guidelines issued from time to time by WHO, World Health Organization. So, as you can see, the most important way of contacting this disease is either by direct or by indirect contact. So, how we take protection against these have been mentioned against the means of contagious. Next slide. Now, we have divided the employee experience from the time they leave from home to the time they return to home, including their commute, their work in the workplace, the movements to the cafeteria, movement to the washroom, etc. And also we have covered some expectations which you may expect from the employees. Next slide. Right. Now, while we are talking of the commute from home to the office, it is recommended that we use only company transport and not public transport, since we have no control on the sanitation, hygiene of both the vehicle as well as the driver. Next slide. So before we return to the office, we are coming to the office in the bus, company bus or the company cars. We are asking all employees to both download the Arogya Setu app as well as our company's Tata Technologies Health app on their smartphones. We're also asking all employees to use reusable masks. And of course, in case they are having any symptoms, we're requesting them to work from home. We have done a hazard assessment of all our employees. Any employees who's falling into these categories, having children at home who are less than 5 years, or any ladies who are expecting, or any employees having any comorbidity such as kidney, liver, asthma, high blood pressure, hypertension, kidney or liver malfunction, all these who are high risk categories, we are asking them to continue working from home. Next slide.
Ravindra, if I may just have a question on the previous slide, Sneha. Right.
Yes.
So, I have a question here, Ravindra, wherein the last point says that post-lockdown, if employees have traveled between cities, So you're going to ask them to work from home for 14 days, and then if required, come back to work. So is there any plan in place wherein if a person working at Tata Technologies needs to make a quick business travel, say to Bangalore for 2 days and come back, so will this be applicable to him as well?
The 2 points in this, one is that we have to follow all the norms, regulations, directives, guidelines being laid down by both the Ministry of Home Affairs as well as the Ministry for Health and Family Affairs. So it depends upon what guidelines they are issuing. For example, Singapore, if any of our employees are traveling to Singapore, I believe the government of India is going to have a bilateral agreement with Singapore government saying that any employee leaving from India to Singapore, we have to carry out a COVID test for that person. And once he tests negative, only then he'll be permitted to travel from India to Singapore, for example.
And even within India travel, is there any mandate laid on those lines? If it's
no.
Travel?
No. All the borders are sealed actually everywhere. Even inter-district headquarters also are sealed. For example, to move up employee who was stuck in Mahad in Ratnagiri to Pune, 1 week back, it took a lot of difficulty to get a pass made for him and bring him to Pune. With great difficulty, it took 1 week to do that. Yeah.
Okay, fine.
All right. Next slide. Again, as I mentioned, the social distancing has to be maintained. We are asking all employees to travel without AC, even if they're in a car of their own. And of course, we are asking everyone to ensure social distancing by automatic seating in the bus. So every bus capacity will not be used more than 50. Next slide, please. Okay, coming on to this slide, which shows how we use cabs. There's also a need to perhaps carry out some sort of separation between the drivers and the passengers. Next slide. Next slide. Okay. While at work, we ensure that before the employee comes into the workplace, after the workplace has been closed for such a long time, we ensure that the entire workplace is divided into a number of zones. Only the zones which are safe and disinfected, only that is open to the employees. The others are all closed. So we have a very regimented approach in this. All the premises are sterilized and fumigated at least 2 days before the return to the office. We have adequate stocks of sanitizers, liquid soap kept in all locations so that employees can use it freely.
Right. Also, Ravindra, I have a question here. In terms of, in one of your measures that you're taking, you spoke about thermal screening, right? That's going to be a part of the check that you're going to do. I was reading somewhere in the papers that in the news that day that mostly in India, 70% is it's not symptomatic, so it's asymptomatic. So in that case, a lot of carriers might be in that category. So you think this thermal screening can be 100% accurate thing?
No. A thermal scanner, firstly, it has to be calibrated, and secondly, it's all based on sensors, as you know. So they have to be accurate and give the right temperature. And of course, it helps you to detect anybody having a fever when they enter the premises, so that the other employees who are inside the workplace are not exposed to risk. So that is just one option of keeping or screening when they come to work. That is just one option, yes.
Okay, fine. Yeah.
Next slide. Okay. Now we have facilities all over India. However, we have a number of other employees of ours working in major client locations all over India again. So where they're working in client locations, of course, the safety measures laid down by the client, they will be applicable, and our employees will follow that. Yes. Next slide, please. Then this is an example of social distancing as well as temperature screening at all the entry points especially. Next slide, please. This is again an example of social distancing, where you will see that the security is also wearing hand gloves while using the thermal scanner. Now there's also one more thing they just entered the market, which I don't have a slide for that right now, is a face mask. face shield actually. It's a PVC shield which you must have seen
Right.
wearing. That's also coming to the market now. It's not very costly, about 150 rupees maybe, which is a very effective to cover your ears, eyes, nose and mouth from somebody coughing or sneezing inadvertently in your proximity.
Right.
Next slide, please. Attendance is one thing which is extremely important, and we have asked everyone to now ensure that they don't do any biometric attendance anywhere. We're only using swipes, and we also kept adequate signages displayed wherever possible, especially near the swiping machines. Next slide. Okay, then inside the company, we have a 24/7 nurse available in the medical center. We also have a 24/7 non-cardiac ambulance available. In case of any emergency, that person can immediately be moved from the company to the nearest hospital, which is already designated. We also have a full body suits for the task force which is in place to evacuate any suspected COVID positive patient, so they themselves don't get infected. So 3 suits is one set of PPE required for evacuation of a positive suspected case, 2 helpers and 1 driver. So that full body suit will be disposed of immediately after one-time use. Next slide. Seating again, we are trying to use cubicles with adequate partitioning in between, social distancing, and employees would ensure that they have at least a 6 feet distance in between themselves. AC, we would like to actually try to have the AC on because this is summer, and we have ensured that all the HUs have been disinfected and cleaned from time to time.
So, Ravindra, we've had this question a lot of times when we've done these online webinars. So everybody has the question: is switching on AC, is it safe? Does virus travel through AC? And what would you like to say about it?
Absolutely. This is a very good question. HVACs, they have the hazard. They carry the risk of shifting or moving these droplets. As you know, this COVID-19 disease is caused because of droplets. And these can be also moved by coughing or sneezing. So they can also carry through the air from one person to another person. So all our AHUs need to have filters in them to kill all viruses, all pathogens basically. Yes.
Okay. Okay. And as we're talking about your desk and social distancing, I also have a question in terms of you might have coffee areas where people might gather and have a chit chat. So are you trying to keep those areas open, or that's completely closed for employee use right now? Pantry and those areas.
This is again a good question. Whenever employees are coming back to work, we are very conscious that they're taking a lot of risk again, and they're facing a lot of resistance from their own families in leaving their home from the safety and comfort of their homes to come to the workplace in the present situation. So we ensure that all the required basic needs of the employees are met. For example, tea, coffee is a basic need of the employees, and they like to have their tea and coffee. So we have these cafe coffee day machines placed all over the company, which will all be functional, and employees can take in tea and coffee whenever they want. But we have ensured social distancing again there, so that there's no overcrowding near the machines. And also we have ensured there's a hand sanitizer right next to the machine, so that people can sanitize their hands before and after pushing the required buttons for taking their tea and coffee. And lastly, we're requesting all employees to carry their own teacups or mugs, so that there is no disposed paper cups for the house to pick up as a garbage to dispose of, thereby reducing their own risk to any infection.
Sure. Yeah.
Now this slide speaks about touch points. Now this is one way of indirect contact, as I mentioned earlier. So all these points, which are touch points, are actually, these are called fomites. Fomites means it can be a door handle, it can be a tap, it can be a workstation table, etc. So all these need to be disinfected. So these are done every day, twice in a day, once before the employees come in the morning, and again it is carried out after they leave in the evening. Right now we are having only a general shift running from 8 a.m. to 5:30 p.m. However, if we start running shifts also, then we'll have to have a staggered timings to have a break between the shifts to ensure that the disinfection is done. We have closed all our wellness centers and gymnasiums to ensure social distancing and safety of our employees. Next slide, please. Okay. Washroom. This is one place which has taken a lot of attention from us. For example, every washroom now is being cleaned once in every hour. Also, we have to ensure that if possible, have sensor-based taps so that people don't touch the taps. And we try to ensure that alternate urinals are again maintained, are used by suitable signages placed there. And we are suggesting to employees, do not use the door. Do not open the door using your hands. Try to use your shoulder or your elbows, in fact.
Right.
Next slide. Okay, meetings. Now,
so, Ravindra, I just interrupt once. So now, in your previous slide, we were talking about the hygiene inside the office and how it will be cleaned after certain period of time to maintain the touch points, basically. So I have a question here wherein I would like to know that the office boys or the cleaning staff who's going to do the desk to desk cleaning part, basically, they are, given their ages, they can be asymptomatic carriers. So do you think that did that question ever come in your mind that maybe those might also be the carriers of COVID? So any thought on those lines?
well,
because the age group is like that, right? So they can be one of them. So anything on those lines you want to?
Yeah,
right?
That's again a very sensitive point you have raised. It's possible. It's possible that they are a symptomatic carrier of this infection. One single person who is positive and it gets traced back to us, then all the complete facilities firstly shut down, and each and everyone will be in a state of quarantine. So that's the end of our business for some time. So that's a huge risk we are carrying. Yes.
Right.
Where all the other points, as I said, like we're taking a self-declaration from the vendors. Then the individual is also, we're checking that does he have fever. We're also ensuring that even the contract staff are filling up the Arogya Setu app. And we're also ensuring that the awareness trainings are being carried out for them. So they and families also take necessary precautions against this infection.
Sure.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. So meetings, as I said, we are not having any more meetings now physically. Maximum 4 to a room. Maximum meetings are happening on the phone or on video conferencing. Absolutely. So that physical face-to-face meetings are absolutely no now. Next slide. Then coming on to the safety guidelines in the cafeteria while consuming food again. These are very important once again. Next slide. So here you have a photograph which just shows how we have managed or kept our cafeterias rearranged to ensure adequate social distancing. We have increased the timings of the cafeteria so that there is no rush at one time. And also we have tried to keep all of them with some understanding that they should not be speaking while eating their food. So some lot of awareness is required to be carried out for people while they are having their food in the cafeteria today. Next slide. So,
Ravindra, just as this thing, so as you were talking about cafeteria thing, so is your company, Tata Technologies, focusing on getting packed food at office? Have you also already started that thing of getting packed lunches?
Yeah, that's a very good point again. This is something which is need of the hour. We need to do this. We have not done it as yet. We need to ensure that employees do not eat outside food and get infected. It's better for them to carry, eat packed food actually, which is safer.
Right, right. So just to put across the point here, as I think even we both were talking quite some time back, that at Houseclass we have specifically, because there are a lot of people attending and we can reach out to them as well to help them out. Houseclass has also come up with the packed lunch option, which can be ordered a day before, and we can deliver it to the any company at their doorstep. Again, all the SOPs of gloves and sanitization and face masks and all that is being followed by the kitchen staff as well as the delivery people. So one can be rest assured that the food will be delivered to, the packed lunch food will be delivered to you in the safest possible manner. So if anybody wants to avail that facility, you can surely reach out to us.
Sure. Right. So here you can see the timings for the cafeteria. They're all staggered because earlier the time was we given half an hour slot for breakfast, half an hour for snacks, and maybe 1 hour for lunch. But now you see the timings, they're very relaxed so that there's no rush, there's no overcrowding in the cafeterias. So we are trying to ensure that every employee, moment they enter the cafeteria, or again when they leave in the cafeteria, it is mandatory for them to wash their hands. And we're also asking them, please don't just wash your hands, wash your face as well. Because the face is where your nose, your mouth, your eyes, your ears are all situated. And that's where the entry points are for the infection. Next slide, please. So here you have the microwave oven, you have the cafe coffee day machine placed in the pantries. So here the employee need to take hands-free before and after using the CCD machines. Now here this photograph is an old photograph where we have kept a hand sanitizer in the way it is right now. But right now we are in the process by tonight or tomorrow morning, we would be keeping hands-free sanitizers so that they contact with the hands with the sanitizers. Next slide. Okay, now we come on to the next issue of expectations which employees have. Next slide. Okay, so we are asking employees not to carry out handshaking. I think that's a thing of the past. We're asking them to carry out a greeting by saying namaste. We're also asking employees not to stand and chat in the walkway or in the passage as they normally do. This is something which they're going to feel very bad because they really be missing each other all these days while they're working from home. Again, we are asking employees to keep going out into the fresh air and taking maximum fresh air, sunlight as far as possible. It's mandatory for all employees to download and also use a company application to report their health condition. This is checked each time when they enter the company premises every morning. Next slide. Okay. Okay, now this is the next slide, please. Yeah. Now this is the, I think, a little confidential slide where in case any employee does test positive, what do we do? So first we inform the CRT, that's the COVID response team. We inform them that this is somebody has tested positive. Now this information might come from the lab, might come from the hospital where the employee has got this test carried out. This information is given to the HR. It's also given to the particular project head or delivery head to which the employee belongs. And the most importantly, all the complete premises where the employee was occupying the place, that is fumigated. And then of course the HR connects with the employee to ensure that he or she is given any required leave, any other support as required. So I think that's my presentation, which I just thought we can share with you. Yeah. So
Ravindra, yeah. So I, from my end, I have a very curious. I have a question, and I think most of us would like to know from you. Any specific experience would you like to share from your Shanghai office that you had to go through in terms of COVID thing, and anything that you want to share with the audience currently, which might be a learning for them?
Okay. Honestly, there is not much we know about this particular infection. Extremely very sad. We don't know much about the infection. We don't know what is the treatment for that. We don't even have a vaccine in place and no signs of that. So creating awareness amongst employees, this is the biggest thing. And especially in densely or overpopulated places like in India, in China, there's so many people whom you're coming in contact with on a daily basis, and the awareness for this is really very zero. So one person might spread it to an average of 80 people. That's called a super spreader. So that's something which was very, very risky. And we were very fortunate that we have not got any employee of ours infected. Neither are any of our employees nor their families. We have been very fortunate, I can just say.
Right. Right. Yeah. So thank you, Mr. Ravindra. We have a few questions that's come up from the audience. So I'll just read them out to you, and please feel free to just address them with your thoughts on those. The first question is from an anonymous attendee. He wants to know what about organizations which have field and office staff? Should the field staff be allowed to visit the office, or should we ask them to stay away from office?
Okay, see, this is a very live question actually. Many companies have a field staff, like some people are in the service line, some people are in sales. They definitely would be required to go onto the field where there's no option. So this should be put into the highly hazardous or high risk category group actually. And here we need to carry out careful screening and assessment of the risks. For example, anybody who is having any comorbidity issues such as severe obesity, hypertension, any issues, asthma especially, all such people should not be sent onto the field for one. Two, these people, if they're going, they should be given adequate protection. Third, they should be given adequate training on how to ensure keeping these precautions in whichever environment they are operating from, like they're meeting some other field staff or some other clients. They need to ensure their safety even at those places. And most importantly, we need to ensure their food, their water, everything is self-contained, so they don't have to depend on any outside sources which might be contaminated.
Okay, that's nice. I hope that answered this query. The next question is, do we need to ask our employees to use hand gloves as a compulsion?
Okay. See, hand gloves is very much part of the PPE, personal protective equipment, definitely. However, the challenge is what to do with the hand gloves after you used it. Most of them are disposable. So this is going to give a new problem slowly when a day comes when you have a huge number pile of disposed gloves which you don't know what to do with. But yes, this is a very good idea that you have gloves. And the surgical gloves are not very expensive. You can definitely use them and it gives a reasonable amount of protection. So yes, I think gloves are a good idea. You must have used them.
So as a company, one should make it mandatory or push their employees to wear gloves and masks both, is what you're saying?
No. I'm not saying the company should mandate it. I'm just saying as an individual, yes, you can do it.
As an individual, okay.
Say you're going to Reliance or you're going to a mall, you want to do some purchase for the family, you wear a glove so that you don't get infected. But in the company, I don't think it's possible because so many people getting gloves, disposing of that, it's not a good idea. It's better that you keep them to wash their hands regularly. I think that's better.
Right. Also, the next question is, should we ask our employees not to order food from Swiggy and Zomato to office? This is the question.
This is a very good question. Food is a very big source of contamination. So the food should always be got from a place which is certified, which is safe. So you just cannot get it from Swiggy and Zomato. I mean, you are all aware of Swiggy and Zomato. The people who are carrying that food also. You don't know the source from which it comes unless it's a source which is certified and you have full reliability checks carried out. I don't think that's a good idea.
Right. So this is what Ravindra, I was also talking to you about. As I just spoke some time back with you, Housecast, we have our kitchens who have been vetted and they are following WHO norms, and our delivery person are following the WHO norms as well. So we have come up with a portal for companies who can, any of your employee, whether it's a company paid thing or a cash and carry model, any employee can come to our portal and place their order for lunch or dinner throughout the week. Like even on a whole week or a month basis, they can place order for their food, and there will be only one person from Housecast coming at your premises and delivering the entire lot of food packets that's been ordered for that day. So in that way, or even as Housecast, what we are trying to prevent is multiple people coming into your premises, because more number of people walking into your premises, the more chances of it being contaminated. And of course, the WHO protocols is being followed by our kitchens and the delivery person as well. And packed food is the only thing that we are working on currently, which is safest. And once it's sealed in the kitchen, it's directly opened by the end user. So I think that might also be really helpful for companies to do it at a company level. So that's what we are talking to our customers also, and telling them that we can sign up at a partner level, and every employee can go on the portal and place the order, and we'll deliver all the bulk order at one go, rather than every individual ordering on some website or the other and people coming to your premises. It will be just one point of contact for all of you. Fine. I have another question that says, if COVID case is discovered in office premises, then what is the government norms or guidelines?
God forbid, God forbid such a case happens inside a company location. I think the first thing that needs to be done is that we need to do the fumigation, evacuation of the place firstly, isolate each and every person who's in contact with that particular employee. Contact tracing is something which is very, very important as part of the protocol. And all necessary emotional support has to be given to the employee concerned. At no time should the employee ever feel that he is not being cared for or he is not being supported by the company at that time. He needs to be given entire care, genuine compassion, and support in every possible way till he or she is again fit and rejoins the workforce again.
Right. So, So I think even one case is found, then you're saying the complete premises will be will it be sealed? That's another question that I've got. Will office building will it be sealed if a COVID case is found in office?
Definitely. In case COVID suspected case has been found to be positive, then that entire area from which that thing has happened, that entire area will be sealed until the fumigation has been carried out in toto and inspected by the government health authorities. That will be sealed, absolutely. And then all the people who are suspected of having come in contact with that particular individual, they will be traced, and all of them will be checked or tested. They'll all also asked to be isolated or quarantined also, yes.
Right, okay, fine. The next question is, for fumigation, is there any specified chemical? Our vendors have prescribed Virex 256. So any comments on that?
Yes. Ever since COVID-19 has happened, there has been a plethora of agencies providing this fumigation, disinfection, etc. Earlier, this was being carried out by the pest control agencies such as Pest Control of India, Godrej India, PCOP, etc. There was just a handful of them. Today, there are dozens of such companies erupting as a startups today, offering to carry out disinfection and fumigation of facilities. They're looking for an opportunity in this business, I think today, this business vertical. So there are a number of such chemicals available in the market. Basically, each and every chemical is basically alcohol based. Most of them have got chlorine in them, and all of them are basically antiviral, antibacterial. Some of them are also hydrogen peroxide based, where when you clean a particular area, it releases ozone, and ozone, when it is produced, it sanitizes the place. However, the point to remember is all these sanitizers are only one-time use. You use them once, it's sanitized. But again, if the infection droplet falls there, then sanitation is history.
Okay. And I have a question. Basically, is sanitization tunnel a right option at the entry of the main gate?
Please repeat this question again.
Is sanitizing tunnel a right option at the entry of the main gate?
Tunnel, okay. There's been a lot of debate on this tunnel thing. This is not a good idea at all, because the chemicals they're using on this tunnel, these are having a lot of side effects. And please remember, these are only basically meant to sanitize or disinfect the clothing in which the employee is entering the company premises. But at the same time, they might enter the employee's body through the nose or to the mouth, or to the eyes, or to the ears, to the skin also, if they're not careful. And these may have a lot of quite long term side effects. So tunnel is not a good idea at all as of today. As of today.
Right. Okay. I have a lot of questions coming in, Ravindra. I hope you don't mind answering them. One question is there any specific AC temperature to be maintained in the office premises, which is safe?
See, this COVID that is today global COVID-19. This infection is a highly contagious illness caused by a virus called SARS-CoV, and this is widespread across the globe from Africa to US, Canada also. So it's not based on temperature. And in our companies, which are IT based, we are basically working at a temperature of 22 degrees plus minus 1. So this temperature will have nothing to do with the infection or the virus. And remember one thing, the virus is, what is this? A virus. A virus is not a living organism like a bacteria. A virus, is based on a genetic sequence. It's basically a chemical which cause certain malfunctions in case it enters the human body. So temperature of our premises has got, I think, nothing to do with infection. Yeah.
Right. Right. Fine. Do we need to apply for an online pass to travel from home to office?
Okay, this is a very burning question today. Just yesterday we had a call with the Pune MIDC, RO, police commissioners and district collectors. So unfortunately, there's been some misunderstandings and miscommunication about this between the various agencies. Today, the police in Pune and PCMC are both at odds with each other. PMC is giving their passes on digital, PCMC is online, and the MIDC is not doing anything, not entering the picture at all. However, this is creating a lot of confusion for employees, for the entire public at large, in fact. So as of yesterday, we have taken a call with the authorities, and they said that from now on, they will not be asking for any pass for any person traveling within the Pune city, within the PMR area, in fact, from 7 a.m. to 7 p.m. They will not be asking for any pass in future.
Right. Right. And my next question is, how often should fumigation be carried out in office? Weekly, fortnightly, or monthly?
As I said earlier, fumigation is required to be done in the premises in case we have been shut down for a long time, 30 to 45 days without any daily housekeeping happening. And then you need to do it at least 2 days before the employees enter the premises. So that's, I think, before the employees return to work, I think that should be a basic thumb rule for disinfection.
Right. There is one question wherein the person is asking, the virus stays alive on paper for 5 days. So how do we do the paperwork safely? Like checks and invoices which are still coming from vendors on paper. So do you think that is, how safe is it?
Oh, again, as I said, a virus is not a living organism. It's just a bit of chemical actually. It's a sequence, a genetics, a genome. So whenever you get anything which you think might be infected, whether it's something you bought from the mall or from the supermarket, or even it's a courier delivered to you, just keep it aside for a couple of hours, maybe 6 hours before you even touch it. And secondly, before you touch it, take a alcohol-based hand sanitizer and apply it all around it, and then open the cover and then go to the contents of that if required. I think that should be the basic methodology.
And yeah, so I think on similar lines, we had someone asking, how do we handle couriers, and should the couriers received be left for a day before they open? So I think it's similar to the answer that
similar to that.
So is it, next question is it mandatory that employees produce a medical certificate before returning to work? Have you, at Tata, have you guys implemented something like that?
Okay. Yeah, this is a very, very important requirement. We have made it mandatory for all employees to firstly report on a daily basis their self assessment on the Arogya Setu app, mandated by the Government of India also. And also we have our own company app, Tata Technologies health application, where you need to carry out a self-assessment of your health and report on a daily basis before you enter the company.
Okay, that's nice. Okay, I have another question, which is like, is there checking of residual chemical after sanitization or fumigation?
Checking of residual chemicals. This is very important again. Yes, it's just like you purchase vegetables in the marketplace and bring it home. You don't use it immediately. You do try to sanitize it with the help of some vegetable cleaner or something like that, and then again you rinse it in fresh water to remove all the fertilizers, the pesticides, and then you process it for eating. The same way, even after you do fumigation, disinfection, we have to let the premises be without any human entry into that area for at least a couple of hours before employees enter in that place. That's very important.
Right. Right. I have a question from Vidya. She wants to know how reliable is the self-assessment test in the Arogya Setu app?
Well, a self-assessment is a self-assessment. So I don't think that's going to be very reliable. But yes, it does tell you in your area if there are any positive COVID cases, at least that much you know, in the 500 meters radius, the 1 kilometer radius, 2 kilometer radius. Are there anybody who is positive COVID? That I think that's the main thing. And remember, this app has been developed by our government to ensure that we can do the contact tracing in case somebody becomes COVID positive. Then they have to keep the Bluetooth on. They have to keep the GPS on so they get tracked at every moment of their movements. That's why it is there actually. So it's self-declaration is self-declaration ultimately.
Right. Okay. Now, one last question is basically, how do companies take care of the sanitization of the cabs or buses? What is the procedure to keep it in check?
Okay. Yeah, this is also extremely critical issue today. We have to sanitize the commute means, the travel means. And that's why we are saying that employees should provide company transport, which can be controlled, where you can ensure the sanitation, the hygiene. So both before and the employees enter the buses or the cars and after, they have to be sanitized with the help of the driver himself. And the driver himself also has to be medically checked for being medically fit, and we have to try to keep a partition between the driver and the passenger. That's also extremely important. And of course, as I said earlier also, the AC should not be kept on. It's better that the fresh air is blowing through the windows inside the vehicles.
Mm-hmm. Okay. One question, is there any special insurance policy to cover the uneventuality right now on this?
I'm not sure. I'm sorry about this.
Okay. No problem. I have one question, and I think this is the last question that we'll be taking. So basically, will admin role be more important post COVID-19 lockdown gets lifted once companies decide to work from home, like TCS has planned to have 75% of their professionals working from home? So how do you think it will affect the admin fraternity if companies start deciding to do such a thing?
Okay. This again, this is something which you are all imagining. This might happen in the future. Well, we'll have to just wait and see how things pan out actually. Though there are going to be definitely certain functions which have to function inside the office. And again, there are some client requirements which have to be done in the premises, especially in the manufacturing industry. So there, the shop floor has to be maintained, and for that, the administration will have to continue. As for the IT premises are concerned, as you specifically mentioned the example of TCS, again, yes, 70 to 80% might be able to work from home, enabled to work from home. But those who are related to client locations and on BPO services, for example,
right,
they might have to continue in the premises, number one. And number two is that the certain things like servers and enabling support functions, they might have to still continue also in the premises. But yes, we have to undergo a lot of change, and for that we have to be flexible and we have to be responsive.
Right. Yeah. I think, yeah, we're almost done with all the questions. So before we end this session, I would like to thank Mr. Ravindra for sharing your valuable insights and guiding us on tackling the current situation. Thank you, sir, for taking out your valuable time for today's session. I would also like to thank our engaging audience for being a part of the webinar. I think there were a lot of questions that were coming from the audience as well, wherein they needed a clarity. And the way Ravin, sir said, we majorly, I think he's tried to cover right from how they the major PPT helped out in terms of what are the precautionary measures that needs to be taken in terms of when the person is coming in the canteen, transport management, social distancing within the office premises, the thermal and temperature checks, AC. I think any admin, whatever they want to understand as per their role and how they want to implement within the organization. I think you tried to cover it brilliantly with your presentation. Thank you so much. And I think the audience was also very interactive. They had a lot of questions. So thank you, audience, for being a part of it. For all your food and cafeteria related concerns during this outbreak, you can reach out to Housecast and we'll be more than happy to help you. I think wish you a good health and looking forward to see you in our upcoming webinars. Thank you so much. Thanks, Ravindra. It was really nice talking to you.
Thank you.
Thank you.